Today we're looking at why FaZe couldn't close at a 14-4 lead on the T side of Inferno versus Vitality. We're jumping right into it, so this first round, FaZe will work on getting top banana control with the knowledge that Vitality are on a force buy. They use a flash off the barrel and an HE in order to clear the corner / sandbag position. But as they're doing it, Vitality counter with their own flash and both Twist and Kerrigan go down completely blind. Now what happened here? This was just a simple pop flash play that's actually very common for the CTs to do, and the fact that Kerrigan gets blinded is what makes this take fall apart. Something that he could have done was to play anti-flash as he was walking up instead, and as well, Brokey was slightly too far away where if he had just stayed a little bit longer to ensure top banana was under control, he could have put himself in a position close enough to actually trade by going on top of logs or just peeking normally. Now something to note about the way Vitality did this play, notice that Masuda jumps on top of the sandbags instead of peeking. And the reason why he does this is to not give the T's an option to spray the sandbags peek blind. By jumping up, it's much less likely a T will spray somebody coming over the sandbags. After losing the fight Banana, although it's a 3v5, there's still a chance to win the round since they have the superior weaponry, but Rain gets flash double peeked at short, and there's no trade potential at all. Brokey is reloading his gun at Boiler, and Rops is stuck behind a smoke, and this lack of cohesion from FaZe seals the round as they opt to save. At 14-5, Rops opens things up with a kill onto Magus, the Apps player, and Twist manages a trade onto Apex, and from these kills, they all decide to go up short together. Kerrigan leads as they go up onto short, but he misses the kill onto Dupree. But notice part of the reason why he misses is because he gets aim punched since he doesn't have armor. And by not getting that kill, Twist focuses a little bit onto Dupree and gets killed by Zaiwu peeking from pit. Rops goes out and trades, but he goes down to Dupree, and Kerrigan and Rain attempt to fight the 2v1, but because of Kerrigan's low HP, he ends up dying, but Rain at least puts it back to a 1v1. However, he takes this gamble incorrectly on whether or not Masuda would come from mid or arches, so he dies while planting on the opposite side of the box. This small detail that Dupree gets away with his life because of Kerrigan's lack of armor is the difference maker, because if Dupree died, Rops coming from Apps would be in position to trade Zaiwu immediately, giving full sight control. Now you may have also noticed that Rain had armor in this round. What if he had gotten the gun instead? Rain was extremely close to getting the M4, but it missed him by pixels and it went to Kerrigan instead. The question is, if Kerrigan didn't get the M4, would he have still tried to take this timing? We'll never know. Now at 15-7, Rops and Brokey will punish the second mid aggression, taking down Magus and Dupree. Now as Magus and Dupree are typically two of the A players, Rops will take space quickly by going out through Boiler. As Rops searches the A site, the rest of the team are grouping up towards mid and halls in anticipation if this ends up being an empty site. Rops dies to Zaiwu and a cancel is called, so they fall out of halls, but two things are going to happen. Kerrigan will probe towards Banana, and Rain will park himself at Boiler to hold for any CTs pushing mid for information. As Kerrigan creeps, he gets caught by Masuda, and Rain actually loses the fight to Zaiwu aggressing towards mid. Now, aside from the fact that both players lose their fights, another issue here is that Twist and Brokey are not grouped with either Kerrigan or Rain. They're in between, which means that there's no opportunity to trade off of either death. What could happen instead is either Kerrigan waits for Brokey and Twist at Banana, and they hit B together while leaving Rain at Boiler so they have the option to go back if things get sticky, or Twist and Brokey stay with Rain and Kerrigan draws the rotation towards B so they end up having an easier time hitting A. But since they chose neither of those options, they're stuck in this 2v3 where the only hope is that Twist gets a clean entry, and as soon as he doesn't, it leaves Brokey in a difficult 1v3. 15-8, FaZe go for a contact up mid with 4, hoping to just be able to sneak up. Rain takes the first peek towards short and falls. Kerrigan tries to trade, but he also falls. However, notice that Kerrigan didn't really set himself up the best way to be able to trade this kill. There's a slight look to his left, worried about a possible arch player, even though Twist has eyes on it. Brokey goes down as well, but Zaiwu boosted, and finally Twist gives his shot at it as well, but he gets taken out also. Now trying to sneak up mid dry is viable, but not against this particular bait and switch set from Vitality, which is credit to Vitality on the timing as this was also the first time they ran it in the match. But the positioning could have been a bit better, as typically you want the player on the left side wall with the further angle to peek out towards short to challenge anybody who might be off angling before having players commit to peeking it close. Now next gun round at 15-10, FaZe use one of their set mid bracket stakes that involves a handful of flashes to ensure they at least get control of brackets. Once FaZe have it, they set Kerrigan up with the remaining flash to get him in a position to be able to pressure arch side along with the B split smoke. And once he's here, the rest of the team regroups to hit towards short. Now they get stopped by a Molotov and also take huge damage from a nade. But they move up together to this choke point, and with no utility remaining, you can see the hesitation between everybody. Twist finally takes the initiative and jumps up first, he goes down. Rain tries to follow up and he goes down also. Kerrigan goes to the Moto Smoke to hopefully find a trade zone but dies to the site player. And Brokey tries to manage his fights but he goes down also. and with Rob smoked down and absent in 1v5, he opts to save. And what this round really came down to was not having any sort of utility to break this type of crossfire. Now one way they could have done so was by simply saving one flash from their set mid take instead of using them all completely. Because with even just one flash, somebody could have thrown this flash that Twist used against Liquid to blind all 3 positions of the setup to be able to break the crossfire. Round 28, the next gun round, it starts off with Twist getting picked off early at Banana with a nice move from Apex where he steps into the fire just slightly to get an earlier than expected timing on somebody who's scaling up. Later on in the round, still 4v5, Kerrigan and Brokey are going to work on getting top Banana control, but we're going to see a lack of coordination between the two. Kerrigan starts by molotoving the corner and flashes off the barrel to try to take the fight. But Brokey was actually intending to flash for Kerrigan, and because he was stepping back to do so, he's not close enough to trade either, so Masuda basically gets a kill for free. Now Brokey tries to trap him at sandbags with another Molotov at the corner, but Vitality counter back with their own Molotov. FaZe decide to wait this Molotov out, which gives Masuda time to fall back to safety. And this is something that FaZe should not have let happen. What they could have done was to smoke Vitality's Molotov and capitalize on Masuda still being stuck. With 2 smokes on hand and a 3v5, making sure to get Masuda here would have been the best way to get back into this round. But since they didn't, Rain goes down during their B hit and make this a 2v5 that FaZe end up losing. Now 15-13, we start with FaZe working on a bit of a B split where Kerrigan and Rain work up towards Arch while the rest go towards B. First thing we'll see is the CT's counter with the Molotov at Arch, but Kerrigan still goes through it, not wanting to waste Brokey's flash. But Rain doesn't commit with them, so it ends up being an untradeable death. Meanwhile, the rest of FaZe run into the B bomb site, meeting minimal resistance, while Rain, who sticks down as the late lurk, finds like a rotation kill CT spawn, now effectively cutting off the rotations. But this is where it goes wrong for FaZe. Twist gets into a position in front of Coffins to watch construction, but as Rops is trying to clear the back of the site, he gets caught by Apex peeking from construction, the very spot that Twist is supposed to be holding, and Twist also goes down as well, and that's where it all collapses. There was another clear disconnect here. For Rops to be able to clear the back of the site like this, Twist had to hold a wider angle to cover the potential peek. Now another option was that Twist could have used this smoke for the Coffins choke point instead. And that's because CT was smoked only a handful of seconds ago as they were taking B, so it may be more useful to smoke the Coffin's choke point instead. On top of that, Rain was also in the CT spawn area as well, which meant that resmoking CT was perhaps not so urgent. 15-14 now, the final round of the half. FaZe take brackets control again, and Rain goes up arches to find a kill on Apex trying to get ahead of the library smoke, while the rest of FaZe go through short. They throw a smoke at Pit, which flushes Magus out to the right side, and Kerrigan nails the kill while blind. And with potentially only one player left in the site, Rain goes through the moto smoke and dies to Dupree playing headshot. And this is where the highlight comes. Kerrigan dies instantly, Twist dies with a spray transfer, Brokey mistakenly thinks there's still somebody in sight, so he doesn't even get a chance to face, and Rops finally gets the trade but left in a 1v2. Although this was a highlight play from Dupree, there are 2 things that FaZe could have done a little bit better here. The first is the timing between when Rain pushes through the smoke and when the next contact is made. There's slightly too much time in between from when Rain gets contact and when Kerrigan and Twist actually attempt the trade. And this extra time allows Dupree just enough time to reposition himself for the next fight, which surprises both Kerrigan and Twist as they're expecting him to be more on the right. The second thing is Brokey looking to the site. When Rain pushed the moto smoke, he actually didn't see anybody on the top of the box in the corner, so the only reason why he might have that suspicion is because ZywOo is still alive, and normally he's an A player, and perhaps he was hiding somewhere that Rain couldn't spot right away. And this round ends with Rops running out of time to plant, which brings this game into OT. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you guys next time.